I've observed a lot of angry men end up in trouble, especially so even though I've observed that, I can reach for a thought that feels better.
Well, so what does it mean to you when you observe an angry man?
Well, somebody that's has strong desire
and
a lot of resistance.
Well, you know what it means to us? Someone who has strong desire and is now moving in the right direction. Because right before that anger, he felt powerless. We're not kidding you. In other words, it is very unusual. Someone has to really have your attention. In other words, if you're frustrated or hopeful, if you're hopeful and joyful, an angry person won't even draw you in. If you're frustrated and overwhelmed, you can be drawn in by an angry person. And if you stay there long enough, you can begin to activate that anger within you. But the majority of people who are right now in anger are being called upstream from a place of powerlessness. We're not kidding you. So when you see someone anger, look at them and think, I'm glad for you, because you feel better than you felt a little bit before. We're not kidding.
I'm
Those anger management seminars
right
are holding you, keeping you from moving on up the emotional stream. Whereas as you relax into it, the stream will carry you right into frustration, and then right into hope, and then right into belief and knowing.
Great. So I have this schedule here, and I would like to do something for Jerry and Esther so that I could make it to more of these, so I can get farther up into joy. And
well, you don't need to come to more seminars. You've heard everything today. Get hold of one recording and listen to it over and over again, because we only say the same thing over and over again. In other words, this is very simple information. You're good. The larger part of you knows it, stands there and bees it, and calls you toward it. And the better you feel, the more you're moving toward it. And the worse you feel, the more you're not letting yourself go. Stop doing that thing you're doing that's not letting you go, and go. That's it. That's it. That's it.
So I'm doing it now.
A bit, but not so much.
All right. So I want to say, I want to stop doing it. And I've heard that when I really want to stop doing it, I'll stop doing it. And then I will be just joyful.
When you're mad at yourself for not stopping the resistance, you're just adding to the resistance. In other words, it's the reason we tell the story about Esther and her discomfort. It was illogical, and when she thinks back on it, she can't even fathom it. She remembers feeling that way, but it feels illogical to her now that she did. But when you are tired or overwhelmed, and then you see something that is the opposite of what you want, it's easy to get swept up into that. The question is, what do I do now? And we want to free all of you from a feeling of guilt about ever being someplace you don't want to be, because you can get anywhere you want to be from wherever you are. So just be easier about it. You know, for a while we called this the science of deliberate creation, and it made you all too aware of your thoughts. You worried too much about every thought. And the reason that we began calling it the art of allowing is because we want you to understand that it's just natural for things to go well for you. And the more you relax, people talk about surrendering, and people worry about that word as if surrendering means surrendering to the consequences of what I don't want rather than fighting for what I do want. And we say when you surrender or when you relax, you naturally go with the flow. But in order for you to do that willingly, you have to understand a few things. You have to understand first that you are source energy in a physical body. And you have to understand that the larger part of you, even though you can't perceive it as readily from your physical format, you do such a good job of interpreting vibration with your physical interpreters that you call this a reality, and you don't think that non-physical is a reality. This is physical stuff, and we help you as we say this is physical stuff and that's non-physical stuff. But let's tell it like it really is. This is just leading edge vibration, and non-physical is right there with you. In other words, let us tell you the story in the big picture. So here you are, non-physical energy, and you are magnificent and non-resistant. You project yourself into a physical environment where you are introduced to some resistance which causes you to ask for still more in this leading edge environment. The non-physical part of you immediately followed that rocket of desire, and so the non-physical part of you became more. And now there is this ever so slight gap of you now getting up to speed with what you and your inner being have caused you to become. Get a picture of that. So now imagine that before you got here, that there were generations of people having those experiences that were creating a mass consciousness vibrational escrow. Future experiences will benefit from what you all are asking for. So now imagine this non-physical energy that's now getting ready to come forth into a physical body. Where's he? He's on that leading edge. In other words, he's that source energy that went with you, saw your contrast, saw your rocket of desire, and went with it. Don't you ever wonder why the new ones that are born know how to run the computer? That's why. In other words, they're more ready for your environment than you are, because you helped to create the rocket that they rode. And now, as they come forth into the physical experience, now they have the same opportunity to go with the flow or not, and the way they feel is their indication of how they're doing. So when you take physical life out of the realm of judgment and out of the realm of being punished and out of the realm of being tested to see how worthy you are, and you put it into the idea or the context that you are a creator who came forth to joyously create, now you stop comparing your creation with anybody else's, because you are this unique source energy that came forth into this unique body, into this unique experience to give birth to these unique desires. There's no competition. There's no reason for you to be jealous of anyone, because there's no stack or bunch of stuff that you are in competition for. You are the creator of all of it. So the sense of competition is me not letting myself be what me has become. You can't hold back from that which life causes you to become. And that's why we wouldn't call it jealousy. We would call it temporary awareness that I'm not letting myself go to where the larger part of me is already gone.
That
Very
sounds
good.
great.
It is great. Very
Thank you.
good. Yes, indeed.